Hey, what's up guys, it's Rich and welcome to a custom classes video for Black Ops 2. I'm going to be showcasing 4 different classes that you can try out yourself or adapt to your preferences. I don't really know, but the reason I'm doing this video is because it's highly requested, and I believe that when people are making their classes in Creator Class, they're just throwing a lot of stuff that they don't really think about, and hopefully this video is going to show you a couple of differences you can make to your choices that will allow you to do better in game. So there will be a lot of gameplay footage in the background as well, so that's a thing, I guess, and the little numbers at the bottom of the screen that you can see are going to be clickable annotations where you can just skip ahead to the start of one of the classes that you don't care about. So yeah, let's get started. So the reason I'm only doing 4 classes instead of like 8, which is how many I've got in Creator Class, is because I do not want to overload you guys with like a 25-minute video that no one really has too much time for. So hopefully this one's going to be around 11 to 12 minutes long, and it's going to be able to you guys are going to be able to watch it. So let's get started. This is my free-for-all class. It's a Scorpion Evo, and let's get started with the gameplay. So the first class that I'm going to be showcasing to you guys is the Scorpion Evo, as you can see on your screen. I'm only using one attachment, which is fast mags, and I'll go into that a little bit later on. I just want to say that the gameplay you're watching is a free-for-all match on slums, because this is my free-for-all class that I like to use when I try and play free-for-all in the mornings, and it's the one that I find most success with. So the class is the Scorpion Evo with fast mags, and only using one attachment allows me to use 5 perks and equipment at the same time. And for free-for-all, that's very important, because the equipment, Bouncing Betties, they are amazing in free-for-all, and I don't want to go ahead and say only use Bouncing Betties when you play this game, because I only use them when I play free-for-all because they are so handy. They do a lot of things. They can lock down an area for you. They don't get many kills because people are often weary to the fact that you can just duck out of the way, but that's not what I use them for. I use them to notify me when there's someone coming from a certain direction, and I even use them to block spawns sometimes. If you throw them on a direct spawn, people will not spawn there, and it just eases up the pressure on your side of the map, which I do on slums quite a lot as well. I will throw a room, you see the room on the left just behind us right now. I throw a Bouncing Betty in there quite often because it's very difficult to lock this side down of the map, because there's 3 different entries to this little like back alley, I suppose. So yeah, that's why I use the scavenger, because I can replenish ammo, of course, and the Bouncing Betties, they are amazing to use. And I also use toughness as well. The reason I use toughness is because in free-for-all it is very common to come across a fair gunfight. Because you don't know where they're coming from the whole time, it's difficult to set up behind a wall or a piece of cover. So what toughness allows you to do is to just hopefully win more 1v1 fairer gunfights, and it will allow you to go on longer kill streaks like I did in this one, where I went on a 20. So hopefully this class loadout helped you out a little bit. I like to play free-for-all in the mornings just to warm up my shot, because it's a little bit more relaxed. The people in there aren't as good, and it's a lot of fun. So hopefully this class loadout video is helping you choose your free-for-all classes more wisely. So that was class number 1. Moving on to class number 2, here we have the MSMC with the extended clip and long barrel. You can copy the class loadout now if you pause the video, but I'm going to go straight into the gameplay. Basically, this is my objective class that I throw on if I'm stuck in a hard game with some average teammates and we need to do work and win the game. This is the class that I throw on. It's my favourite gun in the game, the MSMC. I've been using it almost exclusively in League play recently in a competitive scenario, so it's definitely one of my favourite guns and one of the most reliable ones on the game in my opinion. So the MSMC with the extended clip and the long barrel. Of course, it's your preference. If you want to use the quick draw attachment or the laser sight instead of the long barrel, you can go ahead and do that. I just really like the long barrel on the MSMC. It just increases the range and increases the deadliness of the gun. So something that you may have noticed about this class is that it's very defensive. It's almost as if I'm planning to get injured or hurt or die often, and you can see that in the perk loadout that I choose. I chose flak jacket, which is kind of expecting to get grenaded or C4'd or something. I chose toughness, where you're expecting to get shot for the perk to come into effect, and I chose tactical mask, where you're expecting to get stun grenaded or flashed or shock charged or whatever. And I also chose the tactical insertion. I almost forgot the name of it there, where I'm actually planning on dying with this class a lot more, because it is my objective class. So what I tend to do is I tend to lay my tac insertion down as close to the main objective as possible. This allows me to get back into the action as quickly as possible once I die, and hopefully I'll be able to clear the objective once again. The reason I do this is because on Black Ops 2 you spawn at the back of the map. Even if you have the middle flag on domination, you will spawn at the one of the spawn flags way at the back, and it takes like a good 10 seconds to get back into the action. And when it's a close game, those, you know, those 10 seconds without you in the action, without you trying to clear the objective, can be the difference between your team losing and winning. So the attack insertion does actually help out a load with this class. So another thing you may have noticed is my kill streaks in the bottom right. You can see the UAV, the counter and the lightning strike. The reason I'm using these is because they're very low kill streaks but very useful in a close game where you need to get that win. So moving on to class number 3, we have the Chicum CQB with the quick draw and the stock. And if you would like to pause the video and copy that class down, that's fine by me, and I'm going to go into why I'm using this gun in a second. So the reason I'm using this weapon is because I am trying to go for the diamond SMGs, and this is the class that I have set up a lot of the time now, where it's just, you know, it's trying to maximize the amount of headshots I can go go for in a game, and that allows me to get the diamond camo as quickly as possible. So let's go through some of the things that I like to do with this class. So the adjustable stock and the quick draw are two attachments that are very complementing to each other. That means that they work well together, because obviously you are planning your game on zooming in a lot of the time, ADSing, because that's the way I like to go for headshots, is to just come behind people. Sometimes I stun them, which is why I'm using the concussion and the scavenger perk, by the way. It's just because I like to throw a lot of stuns. I don't think I actually throw one in this streak, which is a bit stupid, because I wasn't making use of my full class loadout right there. Maybe I'm just not used to having the stuns on. But I remember when I was going for diamond pistols, all I would do is play regular TDM, where people play a little bit slower, and I would try and flank the enemy, come up behind them, and just, you know, put my aim right on their head. Sometimes I'd stun them, and I'd just go for that headshot every single time, and I'd focus my whole game plan on going for those headshots when I was trying to go for the diamond camo on the pistols. So the quick draw and the stock are two attachments that are very, very well together. I don't understand when people use like quick draw and a laser sight, because those two perks, or attachments I should say, are completely contradicting themselves. You know, you're planning on aiming down sight and spraying from the hip a lot, and that's just not working for me. That doesn't work for me. I like to focus my game plan on one thing and try to use attachments and perks that go well together. So hopefully you guys can do the same if you haven't already. So I've already talked about why I'm using the concussion. It just slows down enemies so much on this game, and if they don't have tactical mask and you do, you can go in a room with 3 or 4 people in, throw a stun down before you go in. You're not going to be affected by the concussion with tactical mask, and you're going to be able to get at least 3 kills out of the 4, hopefully, and hopefully a few headshots in there as well. So there's no real reason why I'm using this the Chicum, other than the fact that I don't have the gold camo for it yet. It's not the best weapon in the world, it's not the most versatile weapon in the world. It is quite fun to use in some cases, but as I said, it's not that fun. And the kill streaks there, you can change them up if you're playing regular TDM, because it is pretty difficult to go on longer kill streaks and get those kill streaks, or score streaks I should say, in this game mode. So moving on to the final class that I'm going to show you this video is going to be the Type 25. As you can see on the screen, I'm using the quick draw and stock again. I kind of swap between using the quick draw and stock and the laser sight and fast mags attachments for this weapon. Reason being is the Type 25 is actually a pretty good weapon up close, as well as mid-range even. Obviously it's good mid-range because it's an assault rifle and it has good range on it, and also a good recoil pattern. And using the fast mags and laser sight in conjunction just boosts that close range quarters game that this weapon has. It's actually a really good weapon close range as it is, because it's got a nice rate of fire, and using laser sight and the fast mags just boosts that a little bit as well. So I personally really underrated the assault rifles when this game first came out. I was only using the MSMC, the PDW, and the SMGs and the snipers, and I never really used the assault rifles up until about a week ago. I didn't have a single kill with a Type 25, and I discovered this weapon, and when I was watching someone else's video, I would credit them if I could remember who it was, but I watched a gameplay of it and I was like, wow, that weapon actually looks pretty good. So I made a class of it, and this weapon is actually really fun to use. I uploaded a video recently where I got 12,000 score in a 6v6 game mode using the Type 25, and I just went ham sandwich. So if you want to use these assault rifles, I would try out the Type 25, and I'm going to be showcasing some more assault rifle custom classes in the part 2 of this video as well, which will be up maybe in a few days time when I've had time to work on it, because these do take quite a lot of effort actually compared to a regular commentary. So the reason I'm using lightweight, by the way, and lightweight and dexterity, is because one of the downfalls of the assault rifles in this game, or in any Call of Duty, is the fact that you run slower than an SMG, and you also have a lower recovery rate of drawing your weapon up. So using dexterity and quick draw in conjunction just helps a lot with that close range quarters. And you could also swap out your secondary pistol. I'm using a 5.7 in this gameplay, which I don't really use, I don't think, and the C4. You could swap those out, and you could use a wild card, and you could use 3 attachments if you wanted to. So that is going to be the end of this video. If you enjoyed it, guys, I would really appreciate a like rating. As I said, this did take a number of hours to put together, to get the gameplay, to edit it all together and whatnot. So if you did enjoy it, I would really appreciate it if you left a like rating, possibly a favourite to really support it. And if you have any comments on what custom classes I could do for next video, be sure to leave a comment down below. I will be always interested to read those. So thanks for watching again, guys. I will see you tomorrow. Bye.